Hi, engineering testing, and I am Paul West. Wow, that's terrible. Oh, that's classic. Hi, welcome to csci 540. This is Software Engineering Test and Maintenance, and I am Paul West. I will be the instructor for this course. The purpose of this course is mainly, now that you have a bachelor's degree, hopefully, in computer science, we now need to make sure that you understand all the aspects of testing, why we do testing, how we go about testing, what are the different things to look out for while doing testing, and more importantly, this is talking about the software engineering process. So it's how does testing actually fit in with the whole software development lifecycle. Hopefully some of y'all have actually gone through a software project or at least some systems project, and you know that there is always quite the process that you have to deal with. In this course, we are trying to make sure that not only are you able to test code efficiently as a software engineer, but you're also able to interface correctly with all the business people about how testing is going to be performed, why testing is so important, and what feedback testing is going to give. Real quickly, as hopefully you know if you've been out in the workforce, unfortunately most business people simply do not understand why we do testing, and actually they just don't understand why we do what we do. They understand why we do testing. Let me rephrase that. What they have problems with is they don't understand what it is we're doing, and they don't understand why certain things are hard and why certain things are not so hard. So you need to, hopefully this course will give you an idea of how to at least talk to them. Because when you start going through the book, you're probably going to come across some terms that from an engineering standpoint don't make too much sense, but the problem is all the business people use them, and that's how they do it. Alright, so I've given you a long introduction. We're going to talk about testing and how we integrate it into the software engineering process. Real quickly, I have a PhD from Florida State. It's in computer architecture, which is kind of a low-level side of things, so I understand how the kernel works. I've written device drivers, I've actually written an operating system, and I've also designed a processor before. So that's what my PhD research is in. Faculty experience, I've been here at Charleston Southern since 2015, and I've had a couple semesters at College of Charleston. Work experience, I've done a lot at SPAWAR, a lot with their communication systems, and so we've done lots of testing as well as lots of security work there. I did work at Google for just under a year. I worked with Android, their Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, telephony, again kind of low-level device drivers kernel stuff. I've been doing various contracts since I left SPAWAR. My recent one was with AWS in the cloud, so now I know a little bit about the cloud. And my first job was actually way back in 2004, where I worked as employee number 7 for a startup, and I did web design as well as some network security. So that's my range of work experience. I've actually had a wide range coming from Android, pretty low-level programming with device drivers, all the way up to Denim Group, which done web design, and I've done a lot of military systems in between. And testing has always been a very, very important aspect of all these. The thing about it though is you have to know how much testing you need to perform so you're not wasting time testing. And you also need to test smartly so you're not retesting all the time. And lastly, you need to be able to effectively communicate what the tests are telling you to your manager, who has no idea what programming is about. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump over to the syllabus. I'm going to go and close this down. And let's go ahead, let's see, syllabus. Alright, so I'm Paul West, Ashby Hall 206. There's my phone number, my email. I have some office hours. If you are able to come by at that time, I should be available. I do prefer, or recently I've discovered that a lot of people prefer instant messaging. So I've developed, or I've decided to adopt Slack. It's what we used over the week, my summer job. So, and I've gotten used to it. Right now I'm running with csu-cs.slack.com. For those of you using Slack, just point over there and you can jump on. Those who've never used Slack before, it's not rocket science. Just go online, download the app, create an account, and then say you want to connect over here. What's going to happen when you load it up, it'll probably look something like this over here. You'll have csu.cs, we'll have a little icon, and then you can join in general. And what I'll do is I'll create a channel for this course, and that way you can ask questions to everyone, or if you want to ask me a specific question, you can just send one directly to me. Textbook Software Testing Analysis by Pezet and Young. One thing I want to warn you about this book is keep in mind that this book is written as kind of a hybrid between engineering developers and fully business-minded people. Plus, the first guy, Pezet, is a foreigner. So, just fair warning, some of the book is going to be a little hard to understand. I get it. Please just go ahead and email me and we'll take it from there. Unfortunately, it's hard to actually find a good software testing book out there that's not either overly theoretical or only concerned about the practical side of things. This one's probably a little on the theory side, but that's okay because I think the project will go ahead and alleviate the practical needs in this course. Alright, so the purpose of this, develop efficient tools and integrate with standard business processes as you discussed in hopefully your undergrad software engineering course in order to minimize overhead while maximizing code quality and productivity. So that is our biggest goal right there. We want to minimize the overhead in our testing while maximizing our code quality and productivity. The point of this is to make it so everyone can code faster in a large environment. In actuality, if you're doing a small project on yourself, a lot of these tools will still be very useful. Now, you may not have a full type of regression suite that you would in a large environment, but you'll probably at least have some type of regression tests in order to make sure things are working. So we're going to include requirements, software design, test plan, static dynamic testing, maintenance topics. Will also be about overview of corrective maintenance tests, how to adapt, how to make things perfective, and preventative maintenance as well. Alright, student learning outcomes. I'm required to read this because it's part of ABET, so just sit tight for a moment or hit fast forward. At the beginning of this course, the student's expected to learn fundamental principles of software testing, learn to apply these principles to better software, produce software better and faster, explain and evaluate strategies for software testing for both complete program life cycles and individuals, be able to develop correct, stable, and maintain efficient software that extends and improves existing code. You will hopefully be jumping into at least a project where you will take advantage of that. Specify and design test cases and debug and optimize programs. You can produce appropriate documentation for all the testing, including a test plan, test schedules, and test projects monitoring. Develop code using test-driven development. This is actually a pretty big feature, especially of this class, that should help you all out. Be able to present code quality of a program to a non-technical business manager. Hopefully they can get an idea of what that actually means when you talk to them. Otherwise, you're trying to figure out why you're writing all this test code. Develop or integrate the test framework with an active open source project. So this is actually a big feature. That's going to be your project, is you're actually going to go out there and try and find an open source project that you like. I'm going to let you choose whatever you wish, and then I need to see you actually commit or submit code to it. And this actually may seem daunting at first, especially if you've never done open source projects before, but once you step into it, you get started early, make sure you take your time finding the right project. It's actually going to be pretty easy and I think a lot of fun. Apply testing procedures to open source project to improve the code quality and present code improvements to class. Of course, you'll be presenting them to me since this is an online class. In general, teamwork is not accepted. Teamwork is something you want, but in this course, there's not much teamwork available. Attends and late work. I really don't take attendance. This is online, and this is I meant to put 2017 right there. Any late work is 20% penalty. For those of you who haven't had me before, that means if it's 1 minute late or you turn it in on December 2nd, it is minus 20%, period. I'm not going to ask questions. I understand life happens. This is the way I just deal with it. Things happen, just take a minus 20, get your grade in there. You still get an 80 if you do everything perfectly, which should be enough to maintain a high grade for this course. Okay, grading. Homework assignments, 60%. Papers, graduate research, 40%. I am not going to have a final in this course unless y'all really, really want one. I do not see the purpose of having a final in this class. The main purpose of this course is to actually have the paper or your graduate research, which in this class is going out to an open source project. That is actually imperative that you go out and you're able to succeed in this. Of course, your homework assignments will be 60%. Notice that some of them will be coding as well. Grading scale. Since a graduate class, the grading scale is very simplified, so it's essentially a 10-point scale, A, B, C, and then there is no D, it's just an F. We do have a tentative schedule. You can go ahead and look over it. Notice it follows along with the book. The way this is going to work is you should have a bunch of ideas about, or you should get a bunch of presentations throughout the week. Hopefully most of them on Monday. That'll go and talk to you about the different chapters and different homework assignments. And then on Monday you'll need to know what you need to accomplish that week in order to be ready for the next one. Yes, we are having a midterm. These are student representatives. If you're a student representative, just tell me. Academic honesty. All students are expected to adhere to the university. Please don't cheat. I guess you could in this class, but please don't. If you need help, please come and talk to me during office hours. I'm up on Slack. If you have a disability, please go ahead and just email me or message me and we will take it from there. Course evaluations are important. All right, online courses. So online courses have a different level of difficulty to them. And what the big thing is, we need to just keep good communication and then make sure you understand your educational goals for each week. I should be putting up a video every Monday like this one. And then you need to make sure you learn the video, figure out what you need to accomplish that week, and then usually things will be done the following Monday. So I can give you the whole weekend to work on it if necessary, but really you should have your work done by the end of the week. Online meetup. From my experience, it's imperative as an online class we at least do some type of meetup. Right now I've just learned about Slack, so if y'all want to stick with Slack and just message each other over Slack, that's perfectly fine. But I've also found out that being able to go on Hangouts really just help out as well. So tentatively, I usually set it around 18:30 on a Tuesday. I use Google Hangouts. I'll go ahead and send an email out about that if y'all want to jump on and see if that works out for y'all. If not, I understand. I have some classes where we used it throughout the whole semester, and then other classes where no one really bothered to use it, but people were still okay. It's really up to y'all how you want to do this. GitHub. At some point, I'll be asking you to turn assignments in via GitHub. Hopefully you've used Git before. If not, you'll need to research that a bit. If you've taken one of my classes before, you're going to be very familiar with this whole process, but I'll be needing to add you to the GitHub repository, which means I need you to go to GitHub and then email me your account number. So let me go ahead and jump over to GitHub. On GitHub looks something along these lines. And when you go into the repository, which is located right up here, if you're not part of the project, which as of right now, recording no one is, if you were to type in that URL up there and hit enter, it would say this is not the web page you're looking for. You need to email me your GitHub username and I will add you to this group so then you can go ahead and read it. Now, once you have access, this is extremely important, make sure you fork it first. That way when you fork it, you can then read and write to it, and that way I can grade what you push to your forked repository. If you don't fork it and you check out from here, you will not be able to push your changes, which means I will not be able to grade your work. So make sure the first thing you do is fork it. And I will try my best to give you more instructions about that as we progress. All right, non-discrimination. This is a new one, so I'm going to just read it out loud in case you haven't seen it before. Charleston Southern University does not illegally discriminate on the basis of race, color, national or ethnic origin, sex, disability, age, religion, genetic information, veteran or military status, or any other basis. Inquiries regarding the non-discrimination policy should be directed to Letitia or Adams, Title IX coordinator, and there's her information. You can learn more in the CSU handbook. If you suspect discrimination, please come to me first. I don't know why I would discriminate, but if you believe I am, please bring it up and we'll take it from there. Alright, here's ad drop is August 22nd. That's coming up quick. Midterms the 6th, if we have one, which I doubt. Withdrawals the 18th, and withdrawal passing or failings 28th. Course final, TBD, we may just not have one. Hopefully that project will count as one. All right, great. So let's go ahead and close that syllabus. Let me head back to the lectures. So we went over the syllabus. Notice you, again, on GitHub, it's very important. Some of the projects will be up on GitHub. So make sure you go and get a username and email me your username, and I will give you more instructions later on. So how to reach me, email works to a certain extent. One thing I need to make sure is absolutely clear is that weekends is going to be a very hard time to get a hold of me. Sunday's the Sabbath, so I'm not going to do anything that day. Saturday is usually family time, so last thing I'm thinking of is checking my email. And just keeping it honest here, when Friday afternoon rolls around, chances are I'm going home. So if you need to get a hold of me, please make sure you email me earlier. If you email me sometime Friday afternoon, I probably will not get to it until Monday. Keep that in mind as you're doing your homework. So please try and get your homework started in the beginning of the week. That way if you have questions, I can answer them before I head out for the weekend. Again, while I'm doing office hours, I'm going to try my best to be on Slack and monitor it. Please go ahead and jump on and go and ping me a message and I'll add you up. We can virtually meet over Hangouts. I'll go ahead and tentatively try and do that Tuesdays, which is tomorrow at 18:30. I've learned that the virtual meeting is usually the best, at least at the beginning, while we get an idea of what's going on, and then afterwards we can stop. Okay. There'll be a proposal, which is your project. You're going to create and test for a quote real unquote project. I shouldn't use quotes because you are going to go out there for an open source. The objective here is to have actual experience with software testing, and we're going to go over the proposal in a moment, but I want to go ahead and close out this video because it's gone on for a while. The big thing keep in mind about this proposal this project is the idea is that I want you to have real life experience doing actual software testing and applying the things we learned here to the software testing projects. Most projects out there that I've experienced have a poor framework. I mean, some of the big ones have it pretty good, but most of them do not. So there's going to be ample opportunity in order to improve the software testing process. All right, well that concludes this introduction. I will go ahead and also post up a couple other videos momentarily.